Instagram Reels, TikTok, and influencers love to make fitness complicated. Especially as a chef or someone who works in hospitality, you always feel like you need to follow some magic plan in order to get in shape. 1 week it's keto, then it's intermittent fasting, and now it's 75 hard with 2 workouts a day, cold showers, journaling, and reading a book every month. It's chaos. And when I was working in kitchens, all of this conflicting advice just left me frustrated, confused, and sick of trying, to be honest. But here's what actually made the difference for me. These are the 4 most important realizations I made through trial and error, and they actually changed everything for me. Number 1, you don't have to eat healthy all the time. I used to think I had to eat 100% clean all the time to make progress. And I did that. I tracked every single gram, I hit every single macro to a T, I had no takeaways, no snacking, nothing bad at all. And you know what? Of course I got results. But when I got a bit more relaxed and I stopped tracking, I just eyeballed portion sizes, I went out for food occasionally, I got the same results. Like, what was all this suffering for? You've probably heard about the guy who lost like 20 pounds just eating McDonald's. Is it extreme? Yeah, obviously, but it's also actually true. Because the one rule that matters most for fat loss, you have to be in a calorie deficit. And you can do that eating any kind of food, even the bad stuff. But the part that most people skip over when they're talking about this, how good are you going to feel eating pure crap? Greasy, beige, sugar-filled, chemical-loaded foods. You're probably going to feel sluggish, drained, and craving more of the same crap like that. So here's the rule that I stick to now. Eat more protein, eat more fruit and veg. That's it. That combo will keep you full, it'll fuel your training, and it gives your body what it needs to survive sweaty doubles in the kitchen every single week. Number 2, recovery matters more than you think. This one took me absolutely years to actually realise. Because when I first got into fitness, I was all in. 6 sessions a week, push-pull legs, rest, push-pull legs, do it again. It looked amazing on paper. But in reality, I was shattered, I was missing workouts, sleeping like crap, and making zero progress in the gym. And I never put 2 and 2 together. I thought I just had to work harder, double down on it, and keep grinding away until I'd see some scrap of progress. But the truth is, I was burnt out. I was deep in a hole of fatigue that I was trying to scrape my way out of. An analogy I like to use is that your recovery is like a bucket. Every session that you do, every 12-hour shift that you work, every day where you're on your feet non-stop, that fills up the bucket with some amount of water. And when the bucket gets to the top, and when it overflows, that's when your body starts pushing back. You get run down, your progress stalls, you feel like crap. So rest days and sleep are what are going to help keep that bucket from overflowing. They help empty that out a little bit at a time. So you do workout, you do 3 shifts in a row, another workout, it's getting close to the top, but then you have like a nice rest day where you just do nothing, chill out, you get a good sleep, brings the bucket back down a bit. So that recovery is actually where the progress happens. It doesn't happen in the gym. Obviously, you're adding weight to the bar and you're giving the muscles the stimulus it needs, but your actual progress happens when you're sleeping, when you're resting. But there were weeks where I'd force myself to the gym 5 times. And I'd be proud of that discipline and grinding through it and getting after it. But I wasn't getting stronger. My lifts weren't going up and I wasn't building muscle. I was just spinning my wheels, wasting time and effort for nothing in return. Because I was in a constant state of my bucket just overflowing. There was too much water going into it, too many workouts, too many shifts, and I wasn't getting enough rest to bring that bucket down. So I was just overflowing constantly. So if you're working 9 to 5 in an office, recovery is a lot easier. Sitting at a desk doesn't do much to fill up the bucket. You've only got to worry about those workouts that are going to fill it up. And even then, you're probably going to be all right. But as a chef, when you're at work, you're walking, you're lifting, you're sweating, you're moving constantly, and that fills up the bucket. That's like a workout in itself. So don't let some influencer convince you that you're lazy for needing to take a rest day or for not getting 5 workouts in the gym each week. You're already doing more than most. You just need to make room for that recovery so that the effort that you're putting in to your shifts, to your workouts, actually turns into results. Number 3, cardio isn't as important as you think it is. When most people think of fat loss, their first thought is cardio. Running, cycling, HIIT training. The fat burn zone surely means that fat is literally melting off your body as you do that cardio. No? Runners are skinny, so you put 2 and 2 together and you get 4, right? Well, not really. Let me explain with a kitchen analogy. Let's say your restaurant spends £14,000 a week on costs. So that's £2,000 a day. And you want to get some profit in the bank, so you're trying to save money and cut costs. So you tell one chef, hey, I'm cutting your hours, you're going to do 4 half days instead of 4 full days because we need to save some money. But now, that chef, he's still got the same amount of prep he needs to do each day, so he's working twice as hard to get that prep done, but he's getting less pay. And by doing that, he saved a bit of money. He's pretty well paid, so you're now saving £250 a day from his cut hours. And that's saving you £1,000 a week, which isn't bad at all. But you have to consider that he's working twice as hard for less pay now. How long is that sustainable? How long before he burns out and quits and finds another job where they actually give him proper hours and proper pay? Okay, now imagine this instead. You spread that cost evenly across the team. All of the chefs have a meeting, they get together and they decide they don't want this poor guy to be working so hard for so little in return. So they decide they're all going to take a little bit of a pay cut each, and it's not going to affect them too much because it's just a little one. And by doing that, you're now saving £300 a day. So that's every single day, 7 days, not just the 4 days. And that's £2,100 of profit now from those saved costs a week, which is pretty good. That's more than double what you were saving before. It's more savings, it's less stress, and it's more sustainable. And that is the difference between doing cardio for fat loss versus taking a small calorie deficit into your diet. It's the same numbers. 2,000 calories a day, that's 14,000 for the week. Doing 4 runs a week might burn 250 calories each, that's 1,000 a week. But reducing your food intake by 300 calories a day, having less oil, snacking a little bit less, having small portions, that gets you double the calorie deficit for the week. Think 2,100 versus 1,000. With way less effort, it takes less energy and it doesn't take as much time as well. So cardio can help, but if you're relying on the cardio to create the deficit, you're going to run into some problems and you're going to struggle with that. It's like asking that one overworked chef to keep your business afloat. It's not going to work. Eventually, they'll burn out and you'll quit. Okay, number 4, you just have to stay in the game. This is the biggest one, maybe the only one that really matters. Forget the hacks, forget the shortcuts. If you just stay in the game and you keep showing up, you will get in shape. Let me ask you something. Out of these two, who's more successful? The 17-year-old prodigy who lands a job in like a 2 Michelin star kitchen. It's good pay, but he's working 90 hours a week to get that pay. Within a year, he's burned out. He's lost his passion for cooking, so he leaves the industry altogether and gets a job doing something monotonous and boring that he's underqualified for. Compare that to a 27-year-old who's worked in kitchens for a decade. He's always chosen positions where he's had a decent level of work-life balance. He's not had to work more than 50 hours a week, let's say. He's slowly climbed the ladder to a head chef role. His pay's not been the best as he's worked his way up, but he still loves what he does and he's still got that passion, and he's probably going to be in the industry for another 10, 15 years in similar positions to what he's in now, which is great. Who's better off? The kid who went all in and burned out, or the guy who took his time, worked his way up and did it in a sustainable way? Obviously the one who made it sustainable wins, and it's exactly the same for getting in shape. If someone works out just once a week and stays in a small calorie deficit, but they do that every single week for a year with no dropping off, they will end up in shape. I don't know exactly when they'll see abs because it's going to depend on a lot of factors and the starting point and all that, but I know they'll get there because consistency beats intensity every single time. I used to lay in bed on a Sunday night, get this massive wave of motivation, plan this big transformation for my life, lock in for Monday morning, eat clean, hit the gym, go for runs, all of it. I'd find these workout plans and these diet templates online. I'd really try and give it my all. But after a week or two, it would start to get hard. I'd be worn out. That way the motivation has kind of faded and it's not as strong as it was when I started. And I'd drop off and be back to square one, and the cycle would repeat until the next Sunday when I'd get that motivation again. But one day, I think it was in college at the time, I just decided to stop drinking Fanta. I realised I was drinking a lot of the stuff, so I was just like, I'm going to stop. And at one point, I ended up in a pretty good rhythm with going to the gym. I would go with my mates after college and we'd mess about a bit, but at least we were showing up and doing something. And 6 months later, I looked in the mirror and I realised I wasn't chubby anymore. My belly had shrunk. And it really caught me off guard because I'd tried these things in the past where I'd really put effort in, or I'd overhaul everything, or I'd have this big wave of motivation. And that hadn't happened this time. There was no magic, there was no all or nothing grind, just small changes that I didn't quit on. So whatever it is you're thinking about changing, if you've got this motivation to actually get in shape, your workouts, your food, your sleep, can you see yourself sticking with that change for 6 months or 12 months or 2 years? Because if the answer is yes, then you're absolutely sound. If you don't fall off, if you stay in the game, the success rate becomes 100%. It's just a matter of when. But if you're enjoying it and it actually fits your life and it's something sustainable that you can do week in, week out without any problems, does the time even matter? So stop chasing the shortcuts, play the long game, you'll win more often, and you'll enjoy the ride while you're doing it. So if you've enjoyed this one, I would recommend you to go watch this one as well.